Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Central Region Facilitator Networking Meeting. My name's Alex, and I've got Maddie online with me today, and we will do a brief presentation this morning before we go into the networking portion of the meeting. Oh, sorry, we've just got a few people joining the session still.
I would just like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land from which we are presenting from today, which is the Turrbal and Yagara people, for those of us here in the office, along with the traditional owners of the land from where all of you ladies are joining across the state. And I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging.
Okay, just a brief agenda for today's session. So we'll be talking all about partnerships, what makes a good partner, how to be clear about your goals and what you can offer, how to build mutually beneficial partnerships, and groups and organisations that make great Country Kitchens partners. So after that, we will have our usual Q&A session. There'll be time for discussion about any of the topics that were covered during the presentation, but also any questions you might have about upcoming activities.
Just before we move on, sorry, can everyone see our screen and there's nothing covering it? You can see the presentation? Great. Sorry, just thought I would double check. We just wanted to talk firstly about why we should form partnerships. One of the main reasons is that no organisation can realistically do everything on its own, and some of the most successful community initiatives happen when people and organisations work together. So building partnerships can help us extend the reach of the QCWA Country Kitchens program and connect with more people in our communities. So by working together, we can share the workload, we can share resources, and that makes activities easier to deliver. And often it makes it more enjoyable as well. So partnerships also provide opportunities to meet new people, learn about other organisations and services in the community, and strengthen community connections to achieve better outcomes for our communities. And we can do that together with the partners.
Okay, so what makes a good partnership? So the word partnership can sound very formal, but really all we're talking about is building relationships with people or organisations who share a common purpose, values, or goals. So from a QCWA and from a Country Kitchens standpoint, some of these might include improving the health and wellbeing of our communities, improving food literacy, building friendship, community and connection, or advocacy as well. So organisations that might also be interested in this purpose include schools, childcare organisations, local councils, community support services, neighbourhood and community centres as well. And we will talk a little bit more about different organisations that you can partner with later on in the presentation. But there are several elements that go into making a productive community partnership. So firstly, a good partnership is mutually beneficial. So this means that everyone who's involved is able to achieve positive outcomes for their organisation. So the QCWA is a highly valued organisation and is often highly sought after to participate in local events, which is great. And while a lot of people might want to partner with us, not every partnership will be the right fit. So it's important to consider what both partners will get out of it as well. So secondly, a hallmark of a strong partnership is good communication and trust. So this will build over time, but it is really important to have clear and consistent communication coming from all sides. And then lastly, a good partnership will be sustainable and manageable. So as volunteers, we want you to still be able to enjoy yourself and not feel overwhelmed by the partnerships you build. So partnerships that are sustainable can grow and evolve over time and match the capacity that you have.
So just talk a little bit about growing partnerships. And one way we like to think about partnerships is a bit like growing a plant. So we start with the seed, and this could be an initial conversation that you have with someone you meet at a local event, or with a letter of introduction that you send to an organization that you would like to work with, or even a phone call, for example. And then once the seed is planted, this may then sprout. So as a one-off activity, so something like setting up a static display, doing a presentation using the flipbook, or having an interactive showcase at an event in collaboration with that specific partner. And then once that relationship is established, this may grow into more regular collaboration. So, for example, this could be running a monthly cooking demonstration at a local neighbourhood centre, or organising a cooking workshop series. And then eventually you may reach that fruiting stage. So this is where you've built a trusted long-term relationship with everyone, working together towards a shared goal. So this is often the stage where Country Kitchens becomes sort of embedded in that partner organisation and their activities. Partnerships will look different depending on what you're trying to achieve. So some partnerships might be slower to be established, or they sort of might progress a little bit. So they might be slower to establish or slower to progress, or they may not progress very far necessarily. So even with those partnerships that don't progress as far, they can still be great learning experiences for building future partnerships. So we think of those ones as a bit like a practice run, and then you take things away for the next partnership that you sort of look to build. And then in keeping with the plant analogy, growing a partnership requires a lot of attention and care. So we can't just plant a seed and then expect it to become a productive plant without any sort of effort. So today we're going to go through a few different considerations for how we can grow a partnership.
Okay, so before we think about who to partner with, it can be helpful to define what your goals are, and that'll then make it easier to decide which opportunities are a good fit and which ones might not be. So each of you will have your own interests and capacity when it comes to Country Kitchens, and the types of activities that you want to deliver. You may be in a branch where you are the sole facilitator, while other branches may have several facilitators who like to do activities together, and so that might also come into it. But whatever your circumstances, the first question to ask is, what do you want to achieve? So this could be wanting to share your passion for cooking or health. It might be increasing people's confidence to cook at home, or just connecting with your community. It could revolve around reducing social isolation, for example, or increasing your branch's engagement. So once you've asked yourself that, then you can ask the question, who do we want to reach? So who are the people in your community that you would most like to have a positive impact on? Could be anyone from children, parents, carers. It might be people in financial hardship or people living with a disability. But defining who you want to reach can help direct you to the organisations that will support this goal. So the next thing to think about then is what activities you want to deliver. So some of you might be keen to do cooking demonstrations or showcases, while others might be more interested in delivering cooking workshops, maybe starting a walking group, or doing an activity like Supermarket Superheroes. But knowing what activities you do or even don't want to deliver can make it easier to say yes or no when opportunities arise.
So a partnership is about sharing resources. We touched on that earlier, and with everyone bringing their skills and resources to the table. So it's easy to underestimate what we bring to the table as facilitators, but we actually have a lot to offer. Being able to deliver health promotion and interactive activities at a low cost is so valuable to the community organisations and often something that they do not have access to from their local health services. As a facilitator, you have also received evidence-based nutrition training through the Country Kitchens pathway, but you also bring your own valuable knowledge, expertise, skills and passion, whether that be your practical cooking skills and tips, ideas for saving money, or professional skills. That's just to name a few of them. And the other thing is your time is incredibly valuable. Everyone's time is incredibly valuable. So through volunteering, you're providing something that many organisations simply wouldn't have the resources to offer otherwise. And along with those skills, Country Kitchens activities come with high quality resources, recipes, and kitchen equipment, as well as another fantastic resource that we have to offer. So as a QCWA branch, it is likely that you already have some fantastic connections within the community. So you can look to those sort of connections and see how you can utilise them. And another resource that you have access to is the support of the Country Kitchens team. So we can help with planning and managing your activities, as well as tailoring and adjusting activities to suit the group you are wanting to work with. So just as an example of that, Pine Rivers has been delivering cooking workshops for a group with intellectual disabilities. And for this group, the team was able to provide some adapted flipbook pages that went through recipes step by step with pictures on them, and some food safety information as well that had really simplified language so that they kind of were suited to the group and their learning needs. So that's another resource that we offer as well.
Okay, so now that we've talked about what makes a good partnership, we can think about the practical things that we might need from a partner. So this might vary depending on the activity that you're wanting to run. But when it comes to delivering a Country Kitchens activity, we might be looking for a partner who can provide tangible resources. So things like a venue, a kitchen, or tables and chairs. There might also be a need for practical support. So for example, the organisation might be able to take on some of their administrative load by taking registrations, helping you advertise the activity or promote an upcoming event. They might also be able to assist in the delivery of an activity, so they might be able to help you set up. Or, for example, in the case of the Pine Rivers workshops, the staff were actually there to help supervise the workshops as well. There also might be a need for financial support, primarily in covering the costs of ingredients or consumables. The organisations that we partner with might be able to fund this, or they could potentially assist with applying for grants. They might be able to take payment from participants or make a donation to the branch as well. And finally, finding a partner who can assist with connecting you to the people you want to reach is really invaluable. So if a partner has established relationships with people in the community, it can be a lot easier to engage participants in activities. And this will really allow your activity to have a greater impact. The partners that we partner with might also have great local knowledge or other existing networks that they could tap into that could increase the success of your activity.
When it comes to finding partners, many of you would likely already have people or organisations that come to mind that you already have a relationship with in your community. So, for example, you may be a former teacher with a connection to your local school, or you may have a friend who works at a local disability service, as another example. Many partnerships start with something very simple, so it might be a conversation at an event, an introduction from a friend, or someone hearing about Country Kitchens and wanting to know more. If you're looking to make more connections in your community, attending local events can be a great way to organically meet people. Whether it is visiting an expo, a community market, or a show, or a school fete, you may get an opportunity to meet people in person and have a conversation about Country Kitchens. Oops, what did I do there?
Yeah, no, you just flip to the backwards. Yep.
Yep. Excellent.
Okay. So, when looking for a Country Kitchens partner, a good rule of thumb is to go where the people are. So, find organisations that already have established connections with the people that you'd like to reach. So, for example, if you're wanting to specifically work with children, get in touch with your local school or local kindergarten. If you're wanting to connect with the community, a neighbourhood centre or a men's shed might be a good place to start. Local councils might run events or have grants that could fund your community activities as well. So there's no one type of partner, and this might look different for every community as well. So some more specific examples of community partners that our facilitators have connected with in the past include Anglicare, Star Community Services, Step Up, Step Down, which is a mental health service. We've had facilitators partner with Gladstone Airport to do some promotions that way. We've had them partner with local farmers markets, libraries and churches, community gardens, and youth organisations as well. So lots of different options, and obviously each community is going to have different services available, as well as you as a branch might have different connections that you can tap into as well.
I just wanted to give a bit of an example of a successful partnership that's currently happening. So, and a really good example of a mutually beneficial partnership is the collaboration between Bundaberg Neighbourhood Centre and the QCWA Country Kitchens facilitators from Bundaberg branch. So the Neighbourhood Centre and Bundaberg branch share many of the same values and goals. They value community, supporting healthy lifestyles, sharing knowledge and skills, and social connection. The organisation had previously partnered, but the relationship was reinvigorated when the Neighbourhood Centre refurbished its kitchen, so they got some funding to do so. The upgraded and fully equipped kitchen space created new opportunities for workshops and made them easier to deliver. Facilitators no longer had to transport the kitchen kits and equipment to each session like they had done historically when they had run sessions there, which significantly reduced setup and pack down time. Both partners brought valuable resources to the table. The Neighbourhood Centre had funding available and a brand new kitchen space, while the QCWA Country Kitchens facilitators contributed their knowledge, skills, experience, passion, and valuable volunteer time. Together, they were able to offer healthy and affordable cooking at home, hands-on nutrition workshops. The Neighbourhood Centre agreed to purchase any additional equipment required for the workshops, cover the cost of ingredients, and manage workshop promotions and registrations. In return, the QCWA Country Kitchens facilitators agreed to deliver weekly workshops, sharing practical nutrition education, cooking knowledge, and skills with participants. Country Kitchens further supported the initiative by providing each participant with a participant pack and educational resources, and that sort of further added value to the workshops and for the participants that were attending. The result has been a highly successful long-term partnership. Workshops are held every Friday, I believe, and are planned to continue for the foreseeable future, with sessions consistently booked out each month. The Neighbourhood Centre is able to maximise the use of its facilities and funding while contributing to the positive outcomes for the community. And the Country Kitchens facilitators are able to reach and support more people through their workshops. The partnership has also provided an opportunity to showcase the activities and values of the QCWA, with several workshop participants going on to join the Bundaberg branch. As a result, branch membership has continued to grow. Most importantly, participants benefit from opportunities to learn new skills, connect with others, and build confidence in the kitchen. And from the feedback that I have gotten, the facilitators have expressed great joy and fulfillment in bringing people together and seeing the positive impact these workshops have. And one of the most significant outcomes identified by both the partners and the attendees has been the social connection that's been fostered through coming together to cook, learn, and share a meal. So this is just a really nice example that demonstrates how organisations can achieve more together by combining their strengths, their resources, and shared commitment to supporting their community.
All right. Okay. Well, that sort of wraps up the presentation portion of this morning. Thank you so much for listening. Before we move on to the networking part, I guess we just wanted to give everyone on the call an opportunity to share your experiences with building partnerships in your community. So a few things to think about or that you might like to share with the group. Is letting us know what's a partnership you have developed as a facilitator, and maybe what are some of the challenges that you've had in building a partnership, or do you have any tips that you'd like to share that have helped you build community partnerships? So please feel free to unmute if you would like to share with the group.
Or if you have some kind of ideas of that you kind of would like to talk through. I know there's a few online that we've had conversations previously, so if there's any thoughts that this presentation has sparked about that, feel free to, whether you ask in the chat or ask us directly, go ahead. Otherwise, if something comes up and you think of it after the fact, you're more than welcome to send us an email as well.
No? Everyone's feeling quiet this morning. Oh, we've got some chat.
Yeah, that Deb just mentioned that some of the participants joined the QCWA, which I think I might have mentioned as well. So that's a really great and exciting example.
We've just got a question about
the participants at the Bundaberg Neighbourhood Centre don't pay a fee. The ingredients are covered by the Neighbourhood Centre, so with their funding that they have.
And Patsy, you've just got your hand up.
Yes, we've tried several partnerships here, but the stumbling block we have found is that time commitment. So that's a really huge juggling act that we've found anyway.
Yeah. Do you have an example of
yes, I'll give you an example. Patsy decides to go overseas for 6 weeks, and so what happens to the program if it's a weekly program, that sort of thing. Okay. So I guess we've to address that pending problem, we look for partnerships that are just what would I say, sort of more one-offs or annual events. Like we've decided to go with the Farm Fest that Show Society are doing. It's an annual event. We can at least plan things well in advance and make sure we're here for that.
Yeah, and I think that's like a really important point is I think looking at the year ahead and what commitments you may have and what you can fit in, and there's no, doing ongoing partnerships are great, but so are, an ongoing partnership could be that you do that event year to year rather than, every month or whatever it might be. So that's still, the thought and planning ahead to make sure that it fits you and your branch and your needs is really important, and definitely still possible. We really it's important to make sure it fits the capacity of facilitators in the branch as well. So I do understand it as a challenge with availabilities and things, but I still think that's a great example and a really good point in planning ahead is very helpful to manage that.
And Gabriella, you've got your hand up there as well.
Okay, good point there, Patsy. It would be worthwhile considering calling out to another branch close by, if you have one close by, of course, to help you in any of those circumstances, say when Patsy goes overseas for 6 weeks. And I'm sure there might be somebody out there who would be willing to step in.
Yes, and we have had lots of examples of branches, pooling their efforts and doing activities together, particularly for things that do require a little bit more coordination and time, like workshops or bigger sort of events. So that is, yeah, a really good suggestion. Thank you, Gabriella. Yeah, seeing who in your division might be able to provide that support as well. Okay, did anyone have any other examples of partnerships that they'd like to share, or maybe partnerships that they'd like to build?
I don't think so.
All right.
If anything comes up, as I said, feel free to have a chat with us afterwards.
Okay, and then we just wanted to include another quick reminder about blue cards again. So if you have an existing blue card and you haven't already, please send us your blue card number and date of birth so that we can make sure that your blue card is linked to the QCWA. So your blue card does need to be linked to every organisation through which you work with children. So if you are currently working with children and don't yet have a blue card, it's really important that you get in touch with us so that we can support you to apply for one. So it is free to apply for a volunteer blue card. It can be done online, so we can support you to create, basically you create an account with Blue Card and you start your application. Then we need to go in and link that application with the QCWA just to confirm that, yes, you are a member of the organisation, and then you can go back, log back in, finish that application, and you receive the blue card, I think, 10 days later. So please let us know if you haven't done that already, and we can help with that.
I can't find the jolly arrow, thing for hand up.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
Some of our members have objected to sending their birth date to CWA. What do you say to that?
Meg, would you?
I can jump in there. So, Katrina, I guess the blue cards for more broadly for the branch executive are a requirement, and in order to link the blue card, we do need the date of birth. If people feel more comfortable, they can phone state office directly to provide their date of birth in order to link that. So if there is some concern around perhaps sending their date of birth via email, they're more than welcome to call. They can call myself directly or also state office. So Jo here at state office is providing support with linking people's blue cards. So she's in the office on a Thursday and a Friday.
Yep.
But I guess that would be my suggestion as a potential workaround for that. Unfortunately, it is a requirement. It's not something that QCWA sort of have introduced. This is a part of the blue card process, and in order to link people, we do require their date of birth.
Yeah, been there, gone through that, said it's a government requirement, it's not just CWA.
Yes.
Not too happy, so we'll see what happens. Thank you.
Yeah, as I say, that would be my suggestion if people were uncomfortable around that. As a possible way of making them feel more comfortable. But yes, it is a requirement that we have the date of birth.
I just can't understand their objection. I mean, does it really matter how old you are? But anyhow, never mind.
Yes, look, and I think there's sometimes a range of reasons why people don't feel comfortable. But yeah, it's just a requirement. So,
thanks.
Okay. All right. Well, that sort of brings us to the last section of the meeting. So we can open up the floor for any questions and group discussions. So just a few, I guess, prompts to get you thinking. You might like to share what activities you've been involved in this quarter, or if you've got any ideas or plans for upcoming activities that you'd like to run and share with the group, or I guess back to the partnerships. Have you created a partnership with a local organisation, and how did you go about doing so? If anyone would like to share, please feel free to unmute. We don't have very quiet today. Just trying to see who's on the call and what activities we can call them out about.
That's okay.
No, I thought maybe a question came.
There's definitely been things happening, but I don't want to call anybody out.
Yeah, no.
So I guess we can chat. Oh, Leanne, lovely. Thanks, Leanne.
I know Anne's online, but she doesn't want to talk, obviously. Point Vernon Pialba did the local show.
Yes, yeah.
We spent 2 very long days at the show.
Yeah, okay.
First day was with lots of school children.
Yeah.
And Anne actually did her skit that everybody has seen.
Yeah.
So she did that a few times over the 2 days. So I thought it was valuable.
Yeah.
But it is very tiring when you're there for 2 days and only have a few people coming in to help.
Yes, 2 days is a long time, like for a showcase. So is there anything that you think you would do differently? Would you go back next year? Did you think it was a valuable partnership?
We haven't had the time to catch up yet to discuss it, but we are going to see whether it was worthwhile.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Interestingly, we shared it with CWA. So one stand was CK and the other one was CWA, information and selling our stock. We got more information, more people are contacting us back in relation to CWA than Country Kitchens.
Yeah.
Which is good as well.
Yeah.
But we just need to sit down and go through all the pros and cons and also with the people that came and assisted.
Yeah.
You know, we had I think it was another 4 came at various times over the 2 days.
Yeah.
So we want to sit down and see whether it was valuable because it is very, very time consuming.
Yeah.
And very, very tiring. Talking all day and on your feet.
Yeah. So were you did you have others doing the CWA? Because I know you were there with the Country Kitchens, but were there other ladies on the CWA stand or were you sort of doing both?
We were sort of doing both. Okay. So we had, I think there was, can you hear me, Anne? I think there was 4 of us that were Country Kitchen facilitators as well. Yep. So we sort of talked, on everything really.
A bit of both. Yeah. Okay. Oh, well, it's interesting to see how what your kind of conclusion is when you come together to meet and talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah, we will try and put a bit of a report together and send it through to you, Maddie.
Thank you. I've spoken a little bit to Anne about it as well, and but it would be nice to see what everyone else thought about it as well.
Yes, I've actually found today the whole event of going to the show was quite beneficial in terms of learning how to run a showcase and what to actually expect at the show. But like Leanne said, we really need to go through and assess, what we did and what was worthwhile and and how that went. So I found today very beneficial in you just outlining, how to form a partnership, how to set your goals, what you want to do, what your time limitations and all the rest of it are. So today's meeting I've found really great in that regard because I think we say we want to form a partnership, but then we need to really assess who to approach and how and what we've got to offer. So thank you for that.
Yeah, that's very true. And thank you for that. And I think hopefully that does help moving forward and doing that sort of evaluation.
And I think maybe just to add to that as well, I think that it's possible, I guess, to use some of the things from today to reflect on existing partnerships as well. So perhaps people you have been working with or an activity that you have done, I guess, using some of the questions and the things that we've talked about today to reflect on whether you would, continue with that partnership moving forward. So deciding whether or not you felt as though it was achieving what you wanted to achieve, were you reaching the right people? So again, it's an opportunity to sort of reflect on perhaps existing partnerships as well as a bit of a framework for building new partnerships.
Yeah. And Deb, I can chat to you. Sorry, we've just received a chat. I can chat to you separately about the resource request, so I'll do that.
Did anyone else have any activities that they've got coming up or that have recently happened that they'd like to share before we wrap up? Right. No, I think that's that. Okay.
So that does bring us to the end of the networking meeting. Thank you everyone for coming along this morning, and yeah, for sharing some of your thoughts and experiences. We will share this recording, so if you did find it helpful and you think some other facilitators that are in your branch, for example, would benefit, feel free to let them know. It will be recorded. We will post it as well, so yeah, people will be able to watch it after. And yeah, thank you so much. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.